Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video this week. If you are new here, my name is Carrie. I live in New York City and I make videos about style, home decor, and life in New York City. Now, if you've been here before, you might notice that my background looks a little bit different, and that is because I am currently in LA on a work trip, and so I'm just filming this week's video in my hotel room. At one point, I had teased the fact that I was open to making a video about the best vintage thrifted furniture places to shop in New York, or just ideas of places to shop in New York, and a lot of people really wanted to see that video, so that's what we're doing today. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I post new videos every Friday, and let's jump right into this video. Okay, so I have 14 places that I'm going to be sharing in this video, and I have them separated into 3 different categories. I also have my computer down here if you see me looking down. Pretty much the first one is going to be kind of everything places that might make you look a little bit harder, places that are going to fit different decor styles and different price points and might really range in terms of the condition that they're in, and you get the idea. So first of all is Brooklyn Flea. Currently it is held on Saturday in Williamsburg and on Sunday in Dumbo. In the winter it's different and they do move where it is, so they always have a website and maybe an Instagram where you can check. Basically what Brooklyn Flea is it's a flea market, and so all these different vendors and people come. It runs the gamut in terms of not just home stuff, but clothes and everything you can think of, really. So what you'll find there is a really good selection of just vintage and thrifted furniture pieces. A lot of people that have a small little side business and just don't have a storefront will come to there. That is where I found a place called Portmanteau that I really like. Second in this category is a place called Reuse America. This is in Bushwick off of the Morgan Avenue L stop, and I don't even know how to describe this place in person. They do a lot of stuff on Instagram and have a pretty good following there, where they'll post their new stuff and the stuff that might be of the most interest to people, and the stuff there usually goes pretty fast, so if you see something you definitely do have to jump on it, but you can always DM them and ask for dimensions or anything along those lines. But I don't think that their Instagram accurately represents what the store really looks like in person, because it is both amazing and a little bit terrifying. There are things literally piled up to the ceiling and balancing on top of each other. There's a lot of different rooms, but it's the kind of place that if you really dig and really look, you can find some really incredible pieces. Stuff from different eras and stuff that's current. I've seen a lot of CB2 stuff on there. I've seen the couch that I own on there. Okay, the third is Housing Works. Now what Housing Works is actually is a nonprofit that fights AIDS and homelessness, but they have a bunch of thrift stores and I think also some cafes, coffee shops as well in the city, that the proceeds of what you buy there goes to these things. Housing Works has places pretty much all across the city in terms of Manhattan and Brooklyn. And next we have Grand Bazaar. This takes place every Sunday on the Upper West Side. I think the entrance is on 77th Street. Similar to Brooklyn Flea, it's basically a flea market, and they have a bunch of different people come and vend their stuff. Anything from artists or people who make prints. They also have people who are selling furniture. They have people who are selling textiles and crystals, old records, and just a bunch of different things. So you can really get anything from actual furniture to smaller decor to clothes to whatever. So it is a really cool spot to check out, and if you're not in the Upper West Side very often, it's a good excuse to go up there. Next up is Mother of Junk in Williamsburg. This is on Driggs Avenue, and I would say it is a slightly more controlled and definitely smaller version of Reuse America. So they definitely have a ton of stuff that you have to sift through, but it's definitely in a smaller scale, so it's less overwhelming, I would say. And I also think that their stuff is a little bit better organized, just in terms of the pieces being in the same spot. So all the mirrors are together, and they have an incredible selection of old photographs and old silverware, and I think horseshoes and stuff like that. In the back they have a whole area of large furniture pieces, and I would say that their prices are pretty reasonable. Okay, same position but different lighting. It started getting super dark outside, so I had to just turn on the lights here. I hope you guys don't mind, sorry. Next we're moving into section 2 of the video, which are definitely more curated places and have more of an aesthetic, but can still have some pretty reasonable fair prices. The first place in this section is probably my favorite vintage thrifted place in New York, and it's actually one that my friend Dana initially found, so shout out to her, and it is called Dobbin Street Co-op. They have 3 locations in New York. One is in Greenpoint, one is in Williamsburg, and one is in Bushwick. They are also one of the places that is very, very active on Instagram, and also when they post things, they tend to sell very quickly. It's really because they do such a good job curating their pieces, and they do these little like motifs and setups in their shops and outside their shops that make you see how things can be styled and just make them look so cute that you want to buy them. I love, love, love them, and I actually think they have really, really reasonable prices for especially what they sell and the quality. Second in this category is a place called Dream Fishing Tackle. This is a very strange name, and I didn't really get it at first, and then I went into the store one day in person and I really got it because the entire front of it is like a furniture situation, and then once you're in the back, they sell fishing equipment, but they have a really, really cool selection of stuff. I would say it's like kind of similar to Dobbin Street with a little bit of other stuff mixed in, and they definitely have more in their store than they post on their Instagram. They're also the type of place that their prices can really be all over the place, but some are really reasonable. They do a decent amount of like clearance sales that I've seen on their Instagram stories. Third in this category is a little bit of an anomaly, I would say, in this entire list, in the sense that this is probably one of the only places I'm including that doesn't have their own storefront. This is basically run and owned by a girl named Abigail. So her whole business is pretty much run off of her Instagram feed and her Instagram stories. She will not only post pieces that she's selling now, but new pieces that she got in, so you can see what's coming in the pipeline. And as she's grown, she also opened up an option where you can pay a visit to her storage unit in person and like book a time to come. But she has really nailed down her aesthetic so clearly that you really know what you're getting when you are looking at her pieces. So in addition to all being like retro vintage, I would say it's like overwhelmingly like shell-shaped pieces, and she also does a lot of body forms and just like really like elegant while also being like retro looking ceramics. They're really beautiful. They're all like blush toned and pink also. Her stuff is definitely not going to be up everyone's alley. I think it's so specific, but if it is up your alley, you might really like her. And finally in this category, there is a place called Yesterday's News. So it's kind of like a mini version of like a combination of Dobbin Street and Mother of Junk. Anything from Yesterday's News is gonna have definitely more of that like vintagey, retro, old-timey feel to it. They also have a really cool selection of smaller pieces and dishware and glassware and old photos, old magazines, really cool stuff. They also have some fashion in there. Okay, and final section of this video is curated and or more expensive pieces. The first and second on this list kind of go hand in hand because they're owned by the same people, but the first one is called Adaptations, and it is in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. This place is so stunning and beautiful. They have a lot of velvety couches and blush purple, beautiful marble that's also like cream tones and like light browns. They definitely have more of a dainty vintage aesthetic, and the stuff really ranges in prices, but it's definitely worth a trip just into the store because it's really beautiful. And piggybacking off of that, their sister brand is called Porter James. The actual store itself is also in Greenpoint, and it's like a block and a half away. This is a little bit more like Art Deco maybe, but also kind of similar, just the tones are a little bit darker, but they're owned by the same people completely, and the pricing and all of that is pretty similar. Next in this category is a place called Eclectic Collectibles and Antiques, and this is in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. It is right on Metropolitan Avenue. It has like a giant, kind of scary, like taxidermy giraffe head in the window, and that's how I had always known about it. And then I finally went in one day, and it's actually a really cool place. It is definitely expensive. It's way bigger than it looks from the street, and as you go back further in the store, the like last part of it is kind of like garage body shop looking area, and they have these two Batmobile-esque cars like chilling. I think they like rent out their decor, and so that's kind of what they're there for, but it's definitely worth just like popping in if you're in the area. Moving right along, this might be the most expensive one in this whole video, but if you really like mid-century modern or postmodern or Danish, it is a really cool space. And even if you just want to go in for inspo or check out their Instagram for inspo, pretty much the way I would equate this is the fact that like when you see decor pieces that are popular, they're usually a knockoff of something that is like outrageously priced and like a furniture designer, and this place sells those furniture designers and the real versions of them. The pieces are really beautiful, and everything they have is in mint condition. It's in Williamsburg. I've never been in the actual store itself, but I've been following their Instagram for a while, and I just really like to see everything that they post. Final place on this list is the first vintage furniture place that I had known about in New York, and this is called Cure Thrift Shop, and it's in the East Village. And when I went in, I realized that the prices were really steep and not what I thought they were worth. I would say it's got similar stuff to everything that I've mentioned in this video really, but it is a cool store and they do have clothes as well. Okay, so those are all the spots that I had. There are so many more, but I really only wanted to include ones that I have either been to, followed on Instagram, bought something from, know someone who bought something from there. If you know of somewhere else or you follow an Instagram account, please let me know because I'm always looking for stuff like that. And I'm sure everyone else who's watching this video would love to know. But I really hope this video was helpful to you guys, even if you don't live in New York and you want to scope out things for the future. I don't know if any of these places ship. Some of them might. So I hope that at least this just gives you a few Instagram accounts to follow for some inspo in the future or whatever else. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any other questions. Before we go, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your post notifications because I post every Friday, and I will see you guys on the next video next week. And it's gonna be a little vlog, spoiler alert. So yeah, see you then. Bye guys.